back for another Overreaction Monday, Week 13 edition. And we got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. So I'm here with my star-studded cast. We got Ken. We got the VP, Mo Murphy. We got Dad in the building. And we got one of the newest members of the Off-Ball Network, Darian. What's going on, fellas? Ken, how you feeling right now?
Football showed, and I thought we were going to talk about the World Cup, but you guys call it soccer.
Oh, so, Ken, when I meant football, I meant American football, not football.
Sorry, I should probably hop out. Then we woke up and we dropped 54 on the Colts, so I felt good waking up, excited to chat some football.
Yeah, your Cowboys. I woke up to a massacre. That's why Stewart's not here right now. He's not with us right now because he's a part of that massacre. Thad, what's going on, brother?
Terrible. My Sunday was terrible. As you know, the Lions didn't punt, so that's all I have to say.
You got another massacre. Your quarterback almost died.
Yes, but that's the only bright side. He didn't tear anything, and he came back and he was running. So apparently he's fine. But other than that, we got Thrax. Our defense just looked lost.
Yeah. Got trash. But let's go. The newest member of the network. What up, Darian? How you feeling, man? Your Raiders looking good. They're playing better.
I'm feeling good. 3 in a row. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. The momentum is shifting. Is looking really good. I mean, I'm not talking play now. I'm taking it one game at a time. Just keep it going. Ever since Carr had that press conference, we've been 3-0 set though. I'm just taking it game by game.
Ever since he cried on air, man, I cried in the presser. He's 3-0. I guess you need more tears. We need more tears. Mo, VP of the Off-Ball Network. What's going on, man?
Oh, I had the greatest Sunday you could have. I mean, Ohio State makes it into the playoffs. Dallas caps it off, scoring 34 in the fourth quarter. I mean, my Sunday couldn't have gotten any better outside of if Ohio State played yesterday and beat Georgia. That's about it. So
this is an Ohio State free podcast. So
yeah, okay.
What's the over? Ken, you're a betting guy. What's the over under on Mo mentioning Ohio State? Let's set the number at. You think it's over under? Let's say 4.5.
I won't say it again.
Yeah, you're gonna accidentally say it.
He'll go under 4.5, but it doesn't mean that he's not thinking about it the whole time.
He's thinking of LeBron. I mean, you want to combine? You want to do a combined parlay? You want to combine LeBron James?
No.
We're not even talking about basketball or college football. He will mention that. But all right, let's get right into. All right, I'm not gonna. My team, I don't know how to feel because we didn't lose, but we didn't win. So let's get right into it. The Giants and the Commanders, I will give them respect because they are winning games. So I will call them the Commanders, not the Commandos or the Communists or whatever their names are. It was a tie. This has bothered me. It's bothered me for a while, ties in football. Okay? Now, it doesn't happen on people. Oh, it doesn't happen that much. But I don't care. I didn't know how to feel yesterday. And you saw that from, watching, if you guys watched the game, when Graham Gano misses the field goal, they pan to the Dayball and everyone, and they're just like, okay, like, how do we feel? And Mo, me and you talked about this on your show yesterday. And shout out to Mo. Mo's 100th episode is coming up, by the way. So, but we talked about it on your show, and I was perplexed the same way I am right now. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. A ties in football. So that's the first thing I'm going to start off is ties. And I want to get your guys' feeling on ties and just your reaction on that. And if there has to be a change. And Mo, we talked about too, like, now obviously they change in the playoffs, right? Obviously there's no ties in the playoffs and all that. But in football, every game matters. Right? There's 17 games, 17-week season. These games matter. And to finish in a tie, especially for the Commanders now, because now, they have a half-game lead. Like, that doesn't even make sense to have a half-game lead in football. So, Dad, you go first. Talk to me about ties and how you feel about them and what needs to be changed, if anything needs to be changed.
I really don't know what they can do to change it. You play to win the game, literally. When you line up those 60 minutes, you want to leave with the winner. It just doesn't make sense to me. I always wondered if they would just go to the playoff format, but they care so much about extending the game in the regular season. I don't know why they don't play until there's a winner. Nobody wins. Nobody's happy. Feel like you just wasted 3 hours of your life. I really just don't understand why they do it, and it's not good for the fans that come there to watch a good product. But I just don't understand why. I have no real reason behind it. But I disagree with it, and I just think it should be changed. Nothing more to really be said.
Has your team, as the Jaguars, have had a tie since you've been watching? Because I want to know the feeling. Because this is the first time I've seen it. I think the Giants tied in 98, but I haven't seen a tie with my team.
Not from the Jags side.
Not from the Jags. Darian, how are we feeling about ties, bro? And then have you seen the Raiders have a tie before? So maybe you could have a better, I can understand it from a fan's perspective whose team has tied before.
Can he hear you?
I don't know if he hear you.
Can we hear you? I think he froze. He's so mad. He's so mad. Yeah, you, bro. We got you. You frozen. I think you're a little delayed. I think you're a little frozen.
My internet is terrible. So my internet is terrible where I'm at. I live in the boondocks, so don't mind me. But like Dad said, man, we need a winner. We need a winner in these football games. And my suggestion is this. I think you play the 15 minutes of overtime. And if it doesn't find a winner, you go off for starting the yard line or the 20-yard line to score. I think that'll be your best bet. Because now you play the 15 minutes and then you end in a tie. And then now that's messing up playoff implications with a NFC East that I think anybody on this panel can say, we didn't think the NFC East was going to be this competitive this year. Let's just be real.
Nope.
I didn't think it was going to be this competitive at all. So with that being said, yeah, like these ties got to stop, and now it's going to mess it up for the Commanders, and it's going to mess it up for the Giants to try to get in these wild card spots because there's a possibility that all 4 teams can get in. But now with this tie, things going to change. So the NFL got to do some type of change here where they play the 15 minutes, or you narrow it down instead of playing 15, you can play 10 minutes and then go to start at 10 minutes. You go to the 30-yard line or the 20-yard line or the 25-yard line. College football style after that. So that's my thoughts on it.
Yep, and that's what me and Mo talked about it. So Mo, we talked about on your show. Just elaborate more on your feeling on the overtime.
Yeah, I mean, what of the major sports? What who finishes in a tie? Hockey, you can finish in a tie in the regular season.
Not anymore. They used to have
overtime.
They changed it.
Shootout.
Okay, so they did away with it. Soccer, you can finish in a tie in like the World Cup, but whatever, like those games, if they finish in a tie, when it matters, you have to determine a winner. Baseball will go all night long before they let the game tie. But my biggest problem is your minor product doesn't end in a tie. College football does not end games in ties. And so if that's I know it's not their direct minor league, but like if the unprofessional version of your sport has to find a winner at the end of every game, then so should you when you get to the professional level. I mean, wins and losses are the difference of people getting paid too. Like that's another thing is like wins and losses changes like how much certain players are made, coaching incentives, right? Like if you win this many amount of games, you get paid extra $200,000-$300,000, whatever it may be. And so like half of a win could be the difference on a bonus. And I know you're like, people could say, well, finish it in the 60 minutes allotted, but this is a game that has extra time. You have overtime for a reason. There's no reason why professional sport, especially like the NFL, and then they only play They play 17 games once a week. It'd be different if they played 3-4 times a week, played 60, 70 games. Like, all right, we can't put but so much extra time. They're taking a beating on their body. There's 17 games. There's 17 opportunities to win a game. And so ending them in a tie and basically telling me that those 60 or 70, 75 minutes of football basically counts for half a game, I think that's crazy too. Is like you almost feel like they wasted their time. Like that's a half a game. Half a loss, half a win, however you want to look at it. It may benefit you later on. It might hurt you later on. But I think it should this is a game of wins and losses. So, like, you have to determine the winner at the end of every game. I don't care if you put it down to the kickers and be like, y'all are kicking back and forth in a shootout from 40 yards. First one to miss. loses. Like, okay, cool. I don't care if you even did it like that, but you got to determine a winner every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever day they play. There always has to be somebody has to walk away with a win, somebody has to walk away with a loss. Not this weird empty feeling that they had yesterday that just everybody had the dumbest looks on their faces because they're like, what are we supposed to do? Like, even the coaches shook hands. Like, I don't know whether
weird.
play you or we'll see y'all. Like, it's one of those, we'll see y'all again, and hopefully we get a better result and somebody's on the win-loss side. So, yeah, you got to figure out a winner, period. It's the NFL, bro. Like, it's the highest grossing league in America. Like, bro, you got to figure out a winner and loser.
Yeah. Ken, how you feel about overtimes?
Sport for like 2+ hours and watches a tie regularly. I think it's so stupid for the NFL. Even I having ties back when they used to, because it's an 82 game schedule. You don't want to tire guys out. Like, it's a long. I don't really care if they tie in the regular season, but once it boils down to it, then you got to get it done. But there's incentives for guys, wins losses related, and the fact that they're ending it in ties, I think, is normally a really great league to watch. And if you watch that game yesterday, I mean, as soon as the kick was missed, everyone was just like, what the hell? Like, it's done? Like, that's, I guess we all go home now. Like, it's so pointless. They might as well just do away with football. Like, even the CFL doesn't end in ties, and that's awful football. So I think it's really dumb that it's a tie right now, and it needs to change.
Yeah. It's just an empty feeling. It's just a weird feeling. Like, you don't even know how to react.
If baseball could go on to like 3 o'clock in the morning, baseball could go on to 3 o'clock in the morning because of the extra innings. Why the hell NFL can't do it? I'm just saying.
And Mo, we talked about it. Like, they added an extra week of football, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure the overtime rule is like, oh, well, we want to protect the players and all. And I understand it's a long game and all that, and but you added an extra week of football. You know, I'm sure the players would be like, we want a winner and a loser.
A winner and a loser, period.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure like players would be okay with, having some type of, additional, whatever the rule is, to have a winner or a loser. Like, because that feeling is just like, it's just a weird feeling. And I'm sure the players are just like, tie? Like it's just a feel. I don't know. I don't know how they end. I think, something like we talked about, like, if you want to do the 10 minutes, if there is no winner after the 10 minutes, hey, we do college football style. Like you said, put it at the 25, at the 30-yard line, and we score a touchdown, you got to match it. You match it, guess what? Round 2. And we don't have to do the 2 points after college does it after two overtime. Hey, straight up. Hey, back and forth. You kick a field goal, we kick a field goal. Guess what? Another overtime. So like, just continue it. Like, I think that's fine and all that, but it's just a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling, and it's weird for a fan and for us as viewers of the game. But just imagine for the players. And like I said, I remember when Gano misses the kick, we just look at the players and everyone's like, how do we react? How do we feel? It was weird. That's the first thing I looked at. I was like, how will the players feel? And you just see them, like, it's just an odd thing. And so we got to figure out a way to get rid of ties, because it's just, and like Darren, you mentioned before, it's gonna impact the Commanders and for the Giants too. We haven't won a game in 3 weeks. We're not on a losing streak though, so I guess that's cool. But we haven't won a game in 3 weeks, so that's weird too. It's like, oh, we haven't won a game in 3 weeks, but we're not on a losing streak. It's just a lot of, it's just weird and all that. But my solution, like I said, if you want to do 10 minutes and then after that, college football rules. And I think we can, have a solution to that. But the NFL
way. It's the best way.
I think it's the best way. We talked about it, Mo, like, it's the best way, but it's the NFL, so you never know what they want to do. But it was a weird feeling. I had to talk about it again, Mo, like, because it bothered me so much, that tie. I've had an issue with ties for a while, but when you see your team tie, and especially when it's like, this is playoff, we're in the playoff stretch, and these games matter, and like that, for the Commanders, it could come back
Like they're not in the playoffs right now because of that game. Like the Commanders are
They're,
out.
are they out of it? Are they out of the playoffs right now?
Game. They're in 8th behind
They're in-
Seattle, and it's half a game because they didn't
Seattle.
determine.
Yes, they needed
winner yesterday.
Seattle to lose. So that if it goes the way it is right now, they're out by a half game. Yeah, and that's crazy because now if it stays the way it stays, the Commanders are gonna miss the playoffs by half a game. It's crazy, but it is. I don't know. We got to figure it out, NFL. We got to figure out NFL. All right. So I got a couple overreaction, underreactions for you guys, and Thad, I want to go for you first. This is my first one. Is Jalen Hurts the MVP right now? Is that an overreaction or underreaction?
That's a tough one. I don't think it's overreaction at this point, honestly. There were a lot of questions coming into the year with the weapons, but he kind of means everything to that team. The way they're able to use his legs on the ground. He's gotten better overall as a quarterback. Not just saying just because they have A.J. Brown, he's playing better. Like, he's hitting those deep shots. He's hitting the open guys. The jump is tremendous. So I would say it's not an overreaction. He has the team 11-1, which is best in the league. They could easily be undefeated. And I just feel like he's playing at a different level right now. I'm not ready to say he's a top 5 quarterback, but he's having an MVP season. And with Mahomes losing last night, I see no reason why he's not number 1 if the season ended today. So it's not an overreaction, underreaction.
Mo?
Yeah, I'm with that. I mean, Mahomes losing yesterday kind of gives him a dink, which puts Jalen Hurts up there. And on top of that, Jalen Hurts looked amazing yesterday.
He had 380, right? Something crazy like that, right?
They were hitting on all cylinders. A.J. Brown had, a game. But yeah, if you told me Jalen Hurts was the MVP today, I wouldn't be upset. You could argue it just because Mahomes still has he's got 3. He's like 9-3. So it's still good enough. Your team's good enough. You're still like basically leading the AFC. You're good enough to be an MVP candidate. But I mean, being 11-1, the level of improvement that he's had. I mean, if the NFL had like a real most improved player award, I think it'd be Jalen Hurts by a landslide. Like, I think he's pretty much answered every question you had for him going into this year. And this was like a do or die year, or, is he going to get paid? Is he the franchise quarterback? Philly got all these first round picks and draft capital. They could easily move up and get, one of the guys coming in. But I think he's put all that to bed. And so he could cap that off with an MVP. And who knows? This Philly team could go to the Super Bowl. So just imagine going into a game, you're going into a season with all these questions surrounding you specifically. They gave you everything you needed, and you just cap it off with winning a Super Bowl and an MVP. I mean, his price tag would definitely go up. So yeah, I think I don't know if it's like an underreaction, but yeah, like if you told me he's first in the MVP voting today, I wouldn't be upset. If he has the highest odds right now, I wouldn't argue that.
Yeah. Darren?
I'm gonna think it's for me personally. It is not an overreaction. It is not an underreaction. But me being a Raiders fan and living in Philadelphia, this is all the shit that I hear. All I hear.
Yeah,
so,
I forgot. Wait, I forgot.
Jalen
Darian is from
Hurts
Philly. He's from Philly, so he knows.
Yes, I see it all the time. But people try to discredit Jalen Hurts in some way because they 11-1. The Eagles have not played anybody. That's not their fault. That's the schedule. They in front of them, and they dominated. Let's keep it a buck. If a few calls went their way in that Commanders team, will we be talking about their 11-1? No, Philly's still undefeated right now at 12-0, which I had them losing. I had to lose to the Giants in that second meeting. Instead of the Commanders, but that's another story for another time. But Jalen Hurts, not an overreaction, not a reaction. I think he's the front runner for MVP just because of how he's been playing. The guy had 4 touchdowns yesterday against the Titans. Okay, it's not a bad team, not a crappy team, but they're a pretty okay team. And A.J. Brown had a game of his life. You got Devontae Smith. You still have these running backs that can still run the football, and you have a defensive secondary that is really good. Even though their run game is not the best, but they did pretty good on King Henry. But defense can actually help this team. So when you have a full team around you that's helping you win football games outside of you doing everything on your own, I think Jalen Hurts is the front runner for MVP. Even though I still like Josh Allen, I still like Patrick Mahomes, they still there for MVP. But if I have to put Jalen Hurts first, then that's what I will. That's what I would do. But overreaction or underreaction, I just say right now, he's playing his best football of his career as a Philadelphia Eagle.
Yep, definitely. He's balling out right now. Had a hell of a game yesterday. Ken?
I'd call it I don't think that it's overreaction or underreaction because I think you guys have Jalen Hurts. I don't argue it. And if you have Mahomes, then I don't argue it because they're the number one seed in the AFC. He leads the league in passing yards and passing TD. They're the best team in the league record-wise. He's been phenomenal passing and running. So Vegas right now still has Mahomes. I think that's more so people loving Mahomes. Collinsworth go off every time Mahomes throws any sort of pass that's sidearm. I don't know. I don't think that you can be mad at either one. Like truthfully, they're both the one seed in their great teams. They're both playing really well. So I guess you give the slight edge even better than what the Chiefs are, but you know, is that part of that he is the better defense? It hurts. That's just, you know, he has a great defense. Like he can't control the fact that his defense. I wouldn't be mad at having either one. If you go outside of those two, then I'd be upset.
Yeah, no, he's definitely playing great ball right now, and I would have to say he's probably the favorite right now. I mean, the Eagles could easily, like Darren said, they could easily be undefeated. You know, a few calls go their way in that Commanders game, they could definitely be undefeated right now, and we definitely probably have him as the front runner. So, all right, my next one is Justin Herbert overrated. And I know a few people in here, and I'm gonna go with the first person who definitely got a feeling, a good feeling. He's been saying this for a minute too, so this isn't just like a weak overreaction. So, Justin Herbert, is he overrated? Is that an overreaction, underreaction? Mo, center stage.
Bro, it's a underreaction. Hell yeah, he's overrated. There comes a point in time where you got to win games, and you didn't have Mike Williams. You had Keenan Allen. Palmer's not a bad wide receiver. Yes, he's overrated. It doesn't mean he's not really, really good. But the second coming of Jesus that everybody told me, this man is on pace right now to go third year of not making the playoffs. And it's crazy because they blame the coach and Sean Payton's going to come in and all of this. Everybody else goes through all these circumstances, right? Freaking Dak has 3 losses, is playing the game of his life. Like he's playing like the best football he's played. And he's still like, he's borderline top 10. Like he's not even really that good. But then Justin Herbert, he's easily top 5. He clears everybody. He's this elite arm talent. Okay, well, at certain points in time, winning has to matter. And he's still very young. And he could never win a Super Bowl and be very, very great for a very, very long time. But yes, he is overrated because I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback. He's top 5 talent, but at the same time, bro, I'm sorry, winning games has to matter. And you got a lot of these other quarterbacks who have made the playoffs around you that are in the same age range as you, and you've done nothing with it but except everybody has excuses for you every week on, well, he played great, but this, or he played poorly, but it's okay because he was missing this and that. Like he gets the biggest benefit of the doubt of any quarterback right now in the NFL. I'm sorry, he's overrated. Like he's still good. Like I'm not saying he's trash or nothing, but like this whole like, man, Justin Herbert is one of them ones. Like, bro, Joe Burrow in his second year makes the Super Bowl. You can't even make the playoffs. He makes the Super Bowl with no offensive line. In a decent defense. I mean, they got rolling at the right time, but last year their defense was decent. They had all the weapons and everything, but he had no offensive line. He was the most sacked quarterback, and he reaches the Super Bowl. Like, you not even making the playoffs. Like, you might not make the playoffs, bro, and you were supposed to be this elite level, high caliber Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen conversation. Like, God, no, he's overrated, bro. He's still really good, but he's overrated. He's not great. He's not great yet, and I won't put great next to the word of Justin Herbert. Nope.
I love it here.
Round
I
of
love it
applause,
here.
Mo.
I
Mo,
love it
Mo,
here as a Raiders fan.
Mo,
I
I
love it
felt
here.
that. You started off with yo. That's how I knew you were in it. Darren, you go next. You obviously your Raiders played him, and you're in that division, so you get to see him a lot. What's your feeling? Overrated? Is that an overreaction? Underreaction? You talk to me. Talk to me about Mr. Herbert.
This is typical Chargers. No matter who's the quarterback, this is typical Chargers. That's why we call them every year. They start the year 3-1, 4-1, and then here we go the second half of the year. They fall apart like last year, where they just could have took the tie and went to the playoffs. Both of us would have been in the playoffs last year. Let's just keep it. Let's just talk about that for a little bit. But Justin Herbert, hell yeah, he's overrated. He has every right to be overrated because they keep talking about the second coming of Joe Montana. Get the heck out of here with all of that. This guy did throw for 334 yards against a bad Raiders defense and still lost against them. It only scored 20 points anyway. But another story for another time with that. But Justin Herbert, he's not in the Patrick story. He's not in the Patrick Mahomes caliber. He's not in the Josh Allen caliber. I think he's in the I think Joe Burrow's better than him. Sorry to say, with no offensive line and the fact that they beat the Kansas with Joe Burrow leading them, which Justin Herbert just can't do. And when it comes to us and the Raiders in the second half, he can't for the season. You went out and got all these players on the defensive side, Chargers, Lil Mack, J.C. Jackson, and got all these offensive linemen, and Rashawn Slater got in the draft, got this, that, and you still a mediocre team that's from the outside, and this is your quarterback in Justin Herbert. Sorry to say, overrated, and I love it here. I love it here talking about these bums and the chokers. Not make the playoffs this year. I'm calling it right now. They're going to lose the next 4 games. I'm calling it. Sorry. Keenan Allen, you talking about, you going to barbecue our secondary too? You didn't barbecue nothing. Ask Devontae Adams barbecue your squad. Next.
Ken, how we feel about Mr.
Sorry,
Herbert?
I had to get that out of me. I didn't get a chance out of me since the live stream. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know how to. He is slightly overrated because point to what Mo was saying, how like he was supposed to be top 3. We act like a league that would take Justin Herbert as their quarterback right now. This year, it's probably 5. Like, don't get me wrong, Justin Herbert's still great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he's a really good. Yeah, he's behind Burrow for me. He's behind Mahomes. He's behind Allen. He's probably behind Lamar still, as long as he's healthy. So, having the debate of where you want to have him after that, but with how he's playing numbers that are good, but team's still not winning with what was supposed to be a greatly improved. I wouldn't be shocked if they lose the next couple because they play Miami and Tennessee. Colts, Ravens, Broncos are definitely on the table for them to make a late run. Is it going to be enough to be 9-8 and get into the playoffs in the AFC? Who knows? I think he's slightly overrated. Like, he's not top 3 player to be heading into the year, but that doesn't mean that he's not a top 7 or 8. I think that that's a bad thing. Like, you're still in the top quarter of NFL quarterback. So too crazy with it, but that's kind of where I would have him right now.
Bad.
I can't believe y'all. He's barely overrated, but tell me what top tier quarterback has to deal with what he deals with. You know, the coaching is a little iffy. They'd be in the playoffs if their coach decided, not be a dumbass last year versus the Raiders. I don't know if y'all like that.
Yeah.
He didn't have Mike Williams or Keenan Allen until a couple weeks ago. They stay on the injury report. His best receivers were Josh Palmer and Devontae Carter. Like, the stuff he has to overcome, yes, he's not winning, but I think that's a product of the team they have and the coach. And I mean, they are loaded on defense, but their defense has been somewhat of a disappointment. I think week 1 they had, I don't know how many sacks on Derek Carr, but the defense hasn't been as advertised. And he does get a little overhyped. Like they were putting him in the top 5, and he didn't even have a playoff appearance. Nobody said that. I mean, nobody, like, that's the media's fault for doing that. But I really think he's a very, very good quarterback that has to overcome more than your average quarterback. Like, I mean, I know what Josh Allen was before Diggs came, but if Josh Allen had to deal with that in year 2 or year 3, we wouldn't be talking about Josh Allen in the same category as him, in my opinion. He has all the tools. He could be a little bit better, but, like, he didn't make the playoffs last year, but that game versus the Raiders, he did everything he could. He converted like 2 4th and 20s on the last drive of the game to put them in position to go to the playoffs. But the coach made a dumbass call, and the defense didn't respond. But I get what Mo's saying. I don't think he's overrated, but we put him in the top 5 without really doing anything. I know that he's flashy. He can make every throw in the book. His numbers look great. He's going to have, the most passing yards through 3 years in NFL history, or touchdowns, whatever, but I do feel like they praise him a little bit, but the people like Acho and them calling him a social media quarterback, don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, who said that? Who called him a social media quarterback? Is that Acho? That's Acho, right? Yeah.
Herbert's a top talent. Like, talent-wise, talent for talent, I take him over a lot of quarterbacks. But and the reason why, I feel like I should expect you to win is, bro, Derek Carr made the playoffs last year. And all I'm saying, we talk about having to deal with stuff. He lost his head coach. He lost his wide receiver. His tight end stayed on the injury report. Renfro missed a few games. Josh Jacobs was banged up all of last year. Their defense wasn't very good. This was prior to Devontae Adams. The Raiders had every reason to be completely trash last year. Every reason. And instead, Derek Carr was able to keep them engaged, and he played well. It's not like he did it from a leader standpoint and play. Justin Herbert plays well. But, at some point, it has to result in winning when guys are in worse circumstances. Like last year, the Raiders were a dumpster fire. The expectation that they would go to the playoffs, you would have been insane if you would have told me they were going to go to the playoffs. Even Raiders fans didn't think they were going to go to the playoffs. And instead, because of Derek Carr's play and his leadership and his being able to rally no matter what, they were within a play of, and I know he threw the pick, but they were within a play of beating the Bengals in the playoffs. And that's well, what can somebody do with everything on their plate, stacking the chips against them where they have no chance of winning? Like Derek Carr did it. Is Justin Herbert more talented than Derek Carr right now? Yes, 100%. If I had a ready-made win-now team, would I take Justin Herbert over Derek Carr? Yes, I would. If I was the Raiders, I would take Justin Herbert over Derek Carr. But it's because of the hype that he had coming in. And, there does come a point where, we just have to look and be like, when are you going to start really winning? You're sitting at 500. A lot of other people, we had a lot of other quarterbacks. He was deemed this top 3 guy, and we're asking all these questions about Jalen Hurts. We're asking, how good is Tua really? Is Dak that next level, or is he the black Kirk Cousins? Those were statements that were being made. I'm just saying. And then Justin Herbert is done just as little as any one of them. And they're out there balling, and I know they have great teams. I get it. But I'm saying, they're out there balling. Those guys got all these questions in the world, and it's Justin Herbert, because he's, 6'5", 220, white quarterback, can move.
Sunshine. He's sunshine.
Okay, he's talented. Don't get me wrong. But, so when I say overrated, it's not I wouldn't have him in my top 10. He's probably top 7 for sure. There's other guys who maybe they're not as good talent-wise, but they have something special about them where their play turns into winning. And so, he still has plenty of time. He's in year 3? So, is he year 3 or year 4? This is year 3.
3.
Yeah, so he got plenty of time to be a superstar. And yeah, he's in year 3. So, he got plenty of time to be a superstar, get these playoff wins in his bag. But, going through 3 years of not making the playoffs when pretty much every other quarterback under 30 made the playoffs once, if not twice, in their first 3 to 4 years of playing. And you're telling me all the expectations were laid out on the Chargers for this and that, and they weren't winning. They're still not winning games. It's just, that's why I say a little, he's a little overrated. We talk about him like he's this superstar, but superstars win games, superstars win in the playoffs. And right now, since Dak's been back, what separates Dak from Justin Herbert outside of the throws he makes looks better, but Dak has essentially been one of the best quarterbacks since coming back from injury, leading the best offense. But it'll be people hesitate to put Dak as a top 10 quarterback, but it'll tell me Justin Herbert's one of the best quarterbacks they've ever seen. So that's my other thing is you lay these expectations on other guys, you expect them to do more. And because he's the LA Chargers, as flashy as they can be, if the Chargers suck, nobody cares. Like, you can hide him over there and nobody will really care, to be honest. So
their fans don't even care about their team.
yeah, like the Chargers have always been a team where if they're really good, like
LA, period. LA don't
like,
care about
you
their
can
team.
hide them in LA and it'll be like, all right, if it's not the Lakers or the Dodgers, LA and maybe USC, like LA doesn't really like, okay, we could just hide the trash team. They're 500. Nobody really cares. Chargers ain't blowing up LA media until like if they fire their head coach and get Sean Payton, like now that becomes front page of the LA Times or whatever papers and stuff they got over there, but they not blowing up LA media. Nobody's critiquing them on Monday as if like the Giants, if there were expectations on Daniel Jones to be some great quarterback and he didn't meet them, like he's front page of New York media. Oh, this guy ain't it, even though he puts up these numbers. But Herbert's very talented, but he is a little overrated. I've been saying this. Wow.
And like Ted, you said like the media,
And I have to agree with
they hyped them up. Definitely hyped them up, and that's why
they try to sweep it under the rug of all the mistakes that Justin does.
Yeah, they definitely
sweep it under the rug for Justin Herbert. That's all they do. Like I'm
He's
tired
great,
of that. Like if you want to criticize every other quarterback in the NFL, you got to criticize Justin Herbert, and that's the media. It does not do. They do not size him at all.
No, you're right, and he, like you said, he's talented as heck. He's one of those talented.
Yeah,
and we know that, but it seems like he does get a pass at times, and that mentioned like the coaching is, is kind of suspect, and he is missing guys, but it always seems like he does get a pass and all that, and we compare him to like Dak and him, and it's like, Dak isn't the sexy quarterback, so it's like, and all that. So I definitely get that.
What's going on in the comments, bro?
Yeah, Prez is subscribed to porn.
I got it.
What's going on?
I got it. That's just some scam stuff. I got it.
Yo, I got hyped. I'm like, oh, someone's commenting. And it's like, my hot girl here. Hey, I mean,
oh darn it! I don't know where that's coming from. I don't see it in the Off the Ball Network's chat. I don't know where that's coming from.
You see it in the chat. Ken, is that you? Is that your burner account?
No.
Yo, YouTube comment section be wild sometimes with the bots. Like I know there's a bot, issue with Twitter and all that, but like YouTube, like this, they just pop up. At least subscribe.
Yo, not at least subscribe. Yo,
that's crazy.
What is? Yo.
When we get to that next level, we're gonna get moderators so they can get the Ken's burner account out of here.
I forgot
what you
don't like that.
See, we talked about Justin Herbert and being a sexier quarterback than Dak, and then look, it says find my hot girls here. So,
oh damn,
maybe Herbert's watching, but all right, one last topic. I want to get. Oh, we got to go. That's hella way to end. But one more thing before I let you guys go, I want to go around the horn. I want to get your guys' hot take of the week. Give me a hot take coming out of week 13, and then we'll go around and we'll talk about. We'll give us prediction for this Saints who playing Buccaneers. There you go, Saints Buccaneers game. Ken, your hot take for week 13.
Oh, I gotta give my hot take. Because that New England
or any take. It doesn't have to be a hot take. It could just be a take that you're feeling confident about or whatever.
Not winning another game this year.
Who?
New England.
Oh, you hate the Patriots. So
the Patriots not winning another game this year?
I gotta see the schedule, but hey,
I could see it. I look at their schedule. I can see it.
So this is Arizona. It's at Vegas. Then at home against the Bengals. At home against Buffalo.
The only game they'll probably win is the Arizona Cardinals game because that Cardinals team is just not great. They're not great.
But that's still a road game with them coming off a bye week. So I just all year about New England. Like, point me to the week where they impressed in a win. Barely beat the Steelers. You blew out the Lions. You beat the Jets on the road. I guess that would be your big win with Zach terrible all game long. So you beat them.
They won
twice,
that game by luck,
then you
though.
beat the Colts. But that's what I mean. Like, so point to the win on their schedule where you're like, oh yeah, New England look quietly 6-6, which is bottom of the AFC East, which is kind of hilarious. But I haven't been sold on New England all year. I think they're very fortunate with the early schedule and now late in the year. And I said that heading into the year that I thought they were at best to say they will. Maybe they get one win down the stretch, but I don't see any more than one eye on the Raiders. That's a tough road game. Arizona off a bye. And then you got to beat the Bengals, which at that point, if you lose the next 2 weeks, then you're teetering on being out of the playoffs. So who knows? They might not have anything to play for come January 1st when they play the Dolphins.
Okay, New England not winning another game for the rest of the season. That's what Ken's feeling. Bad?
This is not really a hot take, but I think that the Broncos trade is going to go down as a top 2, top 3 worst trade in NFL history. I watched that game yesterday, and when Lamar got hurt, I was like, all right, Broncos going to win this. They're going to figure it out. But they put up 9 points again. I know there was a stat that came out. Oh, my
God, that's awful.
There was a stat that came out that if they would have scored over 17 points in like 6 games, they'd be like 9-3 or something like that. Like they've lost games where the opponent scored 16 points. I'm a Russ. I was a Russ fan, and I keep saying like I'm waiting for them to click. They're gonna click eventually with all those weapons, and it's just not. I don't know what it is, honestly. I really don't. But that Broncos job is not attractive. I'm pretty sure they're gonna fire Hackett at the end of the year, but nobody wants to take over a team with not very good quarterback, no draft capital, and a terrible contract. They signed him after. They should have let him play a couple games or something. But yeah, that Broncos trade I think is going to go down as a top 3 worst trade in NFL history.
Yeah, they've lost 4 in a row and have scored 9 points, 10 points, 16 points, 10 points. And then before they beat the Jaguars, they scored 9 points, 16 points, 9 points, a high of 23. They scored 11 against the 49ers, 16 points, then 6. Like, that's all. That's like, Dad, you might be right. That's going to go down with like the Herschel Walker trade, when or the Ricky Williams trade when they traded all. It's going to be one of those bad trades that it's going to be like, wow. Like, and even if it was a bad trade, like the offense should be clicking way better. Like Nathaniel Hackett is like supposed to be this, this offensive wizard, and you have Russ and you have weapons. It's not like they don't have weapons or all that. Like, you got 2 good receivers out there. I mean, you got a good set of receivers out there. Good, solid run game, and they're scoring 9 points. And I could just imagine for the defense. You feel for the defense too, like because you're like
they're top 10 for sure.
They have a top 5 defense, and yeah, your offense is giving you field goals every game. Not just one, not like a handful of games. Every game is just field goals you're kicking. Like it's just weird. I don't remember seeing something like this, especially from an established quarterback. Like Russell Wilson is a multi-time, this is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, multi-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl quarterback. And he's scoring 9 points.
Chris, do you want to know the numbers? Some of the numbers on Denver's defense.
Yeah.
They're third in passing yards. They're second in points allowed, and they're third down percentage. They are a 3-9 football team.
What happens when you best defenses and the worst offense? You have the worst offense in football.
Oh gosh!
With Russell Wilson as your quarterback, you have the worst offense in football.
It's not even. Yeah, they're 13.8 points per game. They're not scoring 2 touchdowns to Wilson.
And we thought Seattle
worse than the Steelers' offense.
Yeah, it is. No, they have the worst offense in football, right? It's the worst. Like just not even by just forget the numbers. Just like visually, like when we watch football, we're like, oh, that's the worst offense in football. And if I told you like they have Russell Wilson, they got Sutton, they got Judy, Hamler, all these weapons, and you're like, that's the worst offensive football, and it's like you're right. And then you look at Seattle,
the worst offensive football. Period. Like you have Russell.
That's crazy to think. And then Seattle, we thought Seattle was going to be in tank mode, this season, and yet they're like, wait, we don't have to tank because guess what? The pick we have from the Broncos, they're doing our job right now. What are the Broncos like? They're like
they would have the
top pick, I think. Almost.
They have the third pick right now. Yeah, it's the third pick.
So just think about Seattle right now. Wow. How fortunate they are that, like, we thought they were going to be this awful team, and yet they're winning games. And the pick they got from Denver is going to be the pick that we all thought they were going to have just by themselves.
And you might not have to pick a quarterback. Exactly. Like you might have a top 3 pick, and there's so many. If you think you're going to rock with Geno, and I think they can, you might not have to pick a quarterback early, which means you can either trade up or trade back and gain some more draft capital, which you have plenty from Denver, or you just take the best player available, which, I mean, at 3 is going to be, basically the whole draft. But, I mean, you could get a Will Anderson or, what's his name from Georgia, Carter. You don't even a receiver. So, like, you get you another offensive lineman. You get whatever you want at pick 3, and you're going to have a teens pick or whatever. If you make the playoffs or whatever, you'll have a pick in the teens. So you could get 2 quality players ready to contribute to winning a chance at winning the division next year immediately.
Yeah, because the Rams are down. Like, the Niners quarterback situation's up in the air. Like,
yeah.
Like the Cardinals are a mess.
Bro, you could be playing in a division where Matt Stafford's on the decline, Trey Lance is the starter, and Kyler Murray's inconsistent behind is the starter. Like, you might be in a division where on any given week, and I'm not disrespecting what some of these guys have done, but, like, on any given week this year, Geno Smith has been the best quarterback in that division. Probably consistently, he's been the best quarterback in that division, which is crazy.
It's a no-brainer to me.
And it's not a diss to, like, Stafford, whatever. He was coming off an injury. He got every reason. There's no reason why Kyler Murray shouldn't be the best quarterback in that division right now. But Geno, and it could be that next year. Like, if Geno, you put a team around him and they're winning games and he's able to just keep pocketing wins like he does, like, this man could be the best quarterback. And Seattle could turn around and have a loaded roster like that. Like, they're
not owe their money invested in quarterback, too. That helps a lot.
Yeah, they could be very, very talented and very, very young at all the right skill positions to be. We thought they were going to go into irrelevance and full-on rebuild mode. Didn't think DK would stay there. Like, I figured he would ask out.
Traded, yeah.
Didn't think none of those guys.
Too. We thought Locker would be gone.
Yeah, like, I didn't think none of those guys would be impact play. Well, I won't say impact, but I figured, like, DK would want out and then he signed. So I was like, he's staying for the money. Like, no, he's staying and winning games now. So, yeah, Russell Wilson owes Denver.
He really does. Wow, that wound up being a heist for them. Darren, what's your take for Week 13?
My take for Week 13.
Hot, take it up.
That Devontae Adams is the best wide receiver in football, and Josh Jacobs is the best running back in football. Enough said.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Right, the Devontae one is not a hot take. That could be, but I'm gonna tell you why,
because Josh Jacobs lead the league in rushing with 1,303 yards over Nick Chubb, King Henry, Dalvin Cook, so many other running backs. Matter of fact, I got the list: Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and Dalvin Cook. He's the number 1 in leading rush, and he has 6 games over 100 yards. And in the game last week, he had 303 total yards on the ground by himself. You cannot tell me that's not the best running back in the league. You can't tell.
No, it's just a guy chasing a bag.
It's not chasing. It's not chasing the bag, because if you look at the years, I wouldn't say chasing the bag. And I'm gonna tell you why. Even though he had a down year the year before, but if you look at his first 2 years, he went over 1,000 yards in those years, and he was top 5 in rushing.
Yeah, he's having a contract year.
So when he had those injury years, yeah, you could question that, but you can see that he's going back to his resurgence from his first 2 to 3 years when he came into the league. But Devontae Adams still the best receiver in the league.
Are you taking him over Derrick Henry today? Like, you are okay with, if you had an option to take Derrick Henry as the Raiders running back today, you're cool. Like, no, I got Josh Jacobs. I'm good.
Yes, I'm good.
That's tough.
Well,
Yes, I'm good because I just feel I feel like I'm good because, don't get me wrong, King Henry is King Henry. I love downhill runners. But when the way that Josh Jacobs is playing this year right now, he's playing better than Derrick Henry right now.
Yeah,
So
because when the ball snaps,
if it came down to it,
and sees
even though that we say that again.
When the ball snaps and he gets that ball and looks down the field, you know what he's running after? Dollar sign. He sees the bag in the end zone, and that's why he's running so tough. He will play this great this year, and I promise you, he will get the bag, and he will be Zeke. He will get the bag, and he will turn into Zeke.
Absolutely.
I mean,
he's better than Zeke. If we want to be honest, he's better than Zeke.
Now, yeah, that's fine.
Right now, yeah. Well, Tony Pollard's better than Zeke right now, so it's not saying much.
Yeah,
right
that's true too. That's true too.
Yeah,
But
so.
yeah, I say right now, as of right now, going into week 14, Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs are the best running backs in football. Going into week 14.
Well, the Devontae one is not really a hot take because you could say that. I think a lot of people would say
but
Devontae.
People had
Josh Jacobs.
People was talking about it though. People was talking about it. Oh, Devontae Adams regretted getting traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. Oh, he won't do nothing without Aaron Rodgers. He needs Aaron Rodgers. That was all the talk going into after the trade, and the man is still top 2 in the league when it comes to stats and receptions and touchdowns.
All right.
I will say Devontae took off a load though for Josh Jacobs. You know, like Derrick Henry's facing 9-man boxes because they have no receiving threat. I know Burks
Saquon too,
but it's a difference. It's a difference when you have no receiving threats. Teams will stack the box. But
Saquon got
out of his mind.
Saquon got us running at wide receiver right now, so you know I might push on the Jacobs because he does have Devon. Saquon got literally Hodgkins. You ever heard of Hodgkins? That's who we got a wide receiver. He's Hodgkins and a Richie James.
But the problem with the Giants is this, though. The problem with the Giants is they go out and get a Kenny Golladay that he was the most overrated receiver that got paid.
We don't mention him on the show. We don't mention him on the show.
He
don't even play.
He did when it was a wide receiver draft. When it was a wide receiver draft, y'all went out and got Kadarius Toney over all the wide receivers that was good in that first
round. You blame Gettleman for that.
Another time too.
That's a different GM. We don't talk about that guy. We don't talk about those guys.
Real quick though, by taking Toney, who'd they miss out on? Like what receiver? Who'd they miss out on?
I think that year was
like 20.
That year was what? Ruggs was in that. Ruggs and Jefferson and was in there in that draft, wasn't it?
Ruggs got bigger issues than worry about if you can get.
I'm just naming names.
I don't want to laugh, but like Ruggs got a lot of bigger issues.
Jefferson was in that draft. Jerry Jeudy was in that draft.
No, but we didn't have
was in that draft.
Tony came the year after that. He came the year after.
Jamar Chase was in that draft.
No, but we couldn't take Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase would be a Giant right now.
The Giants should have traded up. The Giants knew they needed a receiver.
No, you can't do that.
They needed a receiver for how many years now?
You think the Bengals were going to trade?
Darius Slay could not do nothing for the Giants, bro.
Okay, we couldn't get Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase went 5th.
That wasn't even a thought in my brain.
20.
Listen,
guys,
knew they needed. Listen, you went out and signed a Kenny Golladay that has not done nothing in this league.
Oh no, trust me, I know. I watch it every week.
I would have went. If I'm the Giants GM, I would have moved up to get Jamar Chase. Screw that.
He's fired now, so it doesn't matter. But that wasn't plausible.
After Toney in that draft, though, the only would be Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore.
Yeah.
They could have got Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th.
All right, but everyone could have. So that was
St. Brown. Yeah, St. Brown would have been good.
It wasn't just the Giants.
Yeah, no. The Giants don't get
but that's
everyone passed up. Even the Lions
not
did.
As if they super whiffed on Toney. Like, what do you get?
Yeah,
Rashad. Those are the guys that are debating at that.
We take Rashad
Bateman. Who's picked behind Toney that's better than him? Other than that, it's like
a player. Forget about receiver. Who was better than him? I don't know, but who was better than him after that? That was realistic.
That's it.
That's it.
There's no
one. It was St. Brown that was
like Wayne
after
Toney. Yeah, but St. Brown was a 4th round pick.
Josh Palmer, Terrence Marshall, looking at them like, oh,
no, they didn't pass up on anyone like that. Was
I
just felt as though the Giants just should have moved up. Like,
moved up for who though?
to 5, like to pay a 14.
Yeah.
They got Jalen.
That's like 3 first-round picks you got to do if they get their Jamar Chase. Like
That is
I wasn't even a
insane.
thought process.
I'm sorry.
Plus, we took our
It's
time.
about
I think
taking
that's
risks
Andrew
these
Thomas
days.
that year. So like
You could have moved up and got Devonta Smith at 10. That's about it.
Yeah,
And you know what? There was rumors about that. I will admit there were rumors about Devonta. They did want Devonta Smith, but the Eagles jumped the Giants, so that changed the Giants draft plans for that. Yeah, now that I remember, Giants wanted Devontae, but the Eagles jumped in front of the Giants.
Dallas got,
and that's why you go get your guy because you know so like happens.
Absolute bum, Mike.
Remember when Mo? Hey, Mo. So I'm gonna clip that up. I gotta find that show because there was a certain person on here that was like, nah. And you know what? No. But Mo, you were right because we thought of you guys had you had Jalen what was it, Jalen Smith, right? And,
yeah, I wanted a corner. That was my
problem. Right?
And we thought he was going, and we thought he was Micah as a regular, like a Mike linebacker.
They took Horn and Surtain.
Not the way he's used now, because if he was if the thought process what they were going to use in the way, he might have gone higher. He might have been the top 5. He might have gone higher, but we didn't know that he was going to be used the way he is now. Because if you thought that, Mo, you would have had a completely different reaction. I would have wanted him on the Giants. He would have went higher.
If he would have got moved, like if he wouldn't have got in trouble, he would have went higher in the first place. Like Dallas got lucky.
By that juncture of the draft, Mo was deep in the solo cup, so like we can't give him too much shit for.
Yeah, I wanted Dallas. So I was like we desperately needed a corner.
See it in the clip, Island, but he was on his own island that night. So
we needed a corner at that time, and we still do. We still desperately need another corner.
You can't have that dude Brown playing corner still.
No, bro, put him on IR and hide him, bro. He's trash.
He gets cooked.
So terrible
on the reg. He gets cooked on
his injury.
I don't know, a broken heart, because that's what you keep giving me when you get
Put him on the list.
Get rid of
Mo. That's for the playoffs. That's what you're gonna have. The broken heart.
That's fine.
You know how it ends, Mo. Mo. You since you're the last one. What's your week 13?
Well, I mean, Thad kind of took mine with like Russell Wilson owes Denver.
Give me something good. Give me something good, man. Give me something good.
Come on.
We're on the eve of episode 100, up in flames. You got to give us something juicy heading into episode 100.
That do-rag and let's go.
Yeah, dude. You can't. Oh, Mo. So are you gonna wear the do-rag and the muscle shirt? Because the last time you did it, they lost Ohio State. So
I'm gonna put
Jay, if you're watching, if you want the Buckeyes to beat the Georgia Bulldogs in the playoff, Mo must wear the do-rag and a muscle t-shirt. You know, it's funny. Me and Ken had this talk, and we're like, he really went on the show with the do-rag.
I'm sitting in my room. Who cares?
And a muscle t- I'm watching the show. I'm just watching it because you're on, and I'm just like, my guy's wearing do-rag.
I can't.
This is lockdown. This is like a legit, this is like a national, lockdown is like this is legitimate. Like
it's that big. Like Lockdown is a big network.
It's a big network. Like I have plenty of friends who are on Locked On the network, and like their media credentialed, and then you see Jay Stevens on in this Momo read. All you needed was a black and mild and a bottle of Hennessy, and you would have just been Shannon Sharp. You would have been Uncle Shay Shay.
Well, all right. So y'all taught me into it.
Me and Ken were just like, yo, did you just see this?
They love me. I'm authentic. They love me. Like, they love when I'm on.
Okay.
In the comments, they love when I'm on. So that's why they love me, because I got the confidence.
Yo, we got to get him black and mild. And you need to do that. Just have a black and mild in your mouth when you're talking to Jay next time.
All right, so I'm gonna get my hot take. I'm gonna do it. I've been refraining from doing it. I don't want to set myself up for disappointment.
He's at the
Please
under.
don't do nothing about no Cowboys. Dude.
No.
He's at the under.
No. Don't.
The Cowboys hot take.
Super Bowl. I'm going to do it. I deemed it. The Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. End of the season.
Came up for this.
Dak Prescott will end up being considered a top 8 quarterback in the league. He might be 8. But he will be considered top 8. That's not a reach. I think he's top 10. And I think he's sitting at the 10th spot. So I think a strong playoff run, in the Super Bowl throws him above whoever is 9 and passes up whoever you have at 8. I think that's a solid take. Dak Prescott will be a top 8 quarterback. And but the crazy thing is Michael Parsons will win Super Bowl MVP. The Cowboys going to the Super Bowl. Do you see this team? This is arguably the best. This is the second best defense in football right now. The 49ers have the best. And this has been the best offense since Dak Prescott has come back from injury. And we're going to play.
Doing to Ken. Look who you're doing. Canada just lost in the World Cup. He's heartbroken. They didn't even score a goal. I'm doing it, and it's coming from like our defense is gonna take us. This is the best defense we've had in years, bro. Like years, bro. You've never looked at Dallas and felt like their defense was this good, bro. They're going. They're going. I've been refraining from saying it. I've shut up when we played on Sundays. I just let us keep pocketing wins. But we look too damn good for too damn long. We looked good with a backup quarterback. We look great with Dak Prescott. Our defense is off the chain. We got the best defensive player in football, regardless of position. And Michael Parsons is not even up for debate. You know, we got a top 5 corner in the league right now in Trayvon Diggs. We just, bro, the way we're playing, we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm doing it. I'm sipping the tea. I said 2023, the beginning of it would be my year. And so now I'm going to mention it. I am going to be celebrating 2 championships this year. The national title and the Super Bowl, because Ohio State basketball are giving me championships this year. I said this like 3 years ago that I'm going to be able to enjoy it, especially with Ohio State. I've seen the recruiting classes. I'm like, they're going to give me one in the next 3 or 4 years. So now I'm going to be able to celebrate. I'm going to buy a jersey, have Ohio State, have Dallas, and wear it when both of them are hoisting up championships. So I think this started at the 58-minute mark. So just for my reminder, so when I clip it up and post it, later, today or tomorrow. But Mo just said that the Cowboys are going. See, we all had like little ones like Devontae Adams, best receiver. Patriots won't win a game. I didn't even do mine yet. Sucks. Russell Wilson sucks. But the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. Okay. All right, Mo. Very, very confident. Very confident, Mo Murphy.
I'm used to hearing that. I'm used to hearing that for the last 20 years. I'm just waiting for it to happen.
I don't see it though. Like I usually don't do the whole. I hate when people do it. Like I'll be like, oh my. I really don't buy the Kool-Aid of Dallas going to the Super Bowl, except this year. Like this year, I'm seeing something with this team where it's like. Who definitively is better? I mean, we'll find out when we play Philly again. Like we'll play them in Jerry's world. We'll have Dak, so we'll find out who's really better. Maybe Philly wins. And hey, there's a team better. But right now, looking at the NFC, who is flat out better than Dallas? Philly. That's it. Like you can give me San Francisco, and I think that's outside of Philadelphia. Like outside of that, like you would tell me Minnesota was better until we beat them. Like we could be, bro. We'll go on the road. We'll beat anybody, bro. San Francisco might not even win.
San Francisco was there until Garoppolo went down.
Yeah, Garoppolo injury hurts a lot. We didn't even get to talk about that, but yeah, that was a huge.
That has to change everything for San Francisco. Like no way that you think. I mean, if Brock Purdy does it, like if there was somebody who could do it with him, I guess it'd be like with that defense and the way that team's built, is not going to fall on the backs of him. But outside of that, there's nobody that you're looking at in front of Dallas or in the NFC, and you're like, that's the team that Dallas can't beat under any circumstance. So even if we beat Philly, like now you're like, okay, they're 1-1, so you don't look at a matchup and be like, there's not a bad matchup for Dallas. They can beat anybody in the NFC unless it's Green Bay. Green Bay is the only bad matchup for Dallas because, Aaron Rodgers owns a part of Jerry's world. But other than that, there's not a bad matchup for Dallas. You could see them literally beating anybody else in the NFC. And so I'm even here for, I think it'll be, Philly and Dallas in the NFC Championship in Philly. And we still their hearts.
Well, we'll see. You guys do look good. This is probably the best team you've had in how long? Since 2014, would you say? 2016.
Yeah, probably since 2016. Yeah,
I would say that the team that lost to Green Bay, right? In that when that pass.
Yeah, and the last second field goal on a throw only him, and at that time only he could make that throw in the NFL. Literally the only quarterback in the league that could make that throw.
But yeah, the Cowboys got to show me. Like they do look really good, but you know how they do come playoff time. Like
show you in the playoffs.
What year was that? 2007 when they had the number 1 seed and they lost to the Giants.
And they lost to the Giants.
They got to show me.
It's gonna happen again, Mo. It's gonna happen again.
Bro, the thing is, they're going to end up getting over the hump at some point. Like, it's going to happen. Everybody has their turn. And so it's going to happen at some point. And why not this year? Like why not this year? I think the NFC is up for grabs more than I've ever thought it. I don't think there's really, like, as good as Philly is, I think they're the favorite. But, like, last year with the NFC, like, you felt like the Rams. Like, you felt like it was the Rams and the Bucks. And that was pretty much it. Like, you didn't think neither one of them was going to get got until they get each other. So I don't think you look at Philly and be like, oh, yeah, they're just going to dominate the NFC. You don't look at Dallas like they're just going to dominate the NFC. You don't look at Minnesota that way. Like, so I think the NFC truly, like, this is the first time I feel like a conference is really up for grabs, and there's about 3 to 4 teams that could do it. And so you just have to be better than each other on Sunday. But there's not no team that, like, I'm afraid to have to play to get through them to go to the Super Bowl. With, like, last year, like, we could have won a playoff game and then we play the Rams. I'd be like, I don't think we're beating the Rams in the playoffs. Or we play the Bucks. I don't think we're beating the Bucks in the playoffs. There's not a single team that you would tell me we match up with, and I'd be like, we can't beat them. Like, that's just a bad matchup for us. So that's why I think, like, the NFC is now up for grabs. Jimmy G going down changes a lot because I felt like San Francisco was a bad matchup for us. But if we do play them against Brock Purdy, I'm just not sure. Like, the last pick of the draft has a great playoff run. The likeliness of that happening is probably slim to none. So, yeah, there you go. That's how I'm ending the show. That's how I'm walking off.
Mo with the walk-off. Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. They're going to win everything, apparently, and all that. So, what a way to end another Overreaction Monday on this glorious Monday night. And we got the Saints and the Buccaneers going on right now. They just kicked the field goal. The Buccaneers, they're up 3-0. But, fellas, this is another great show. I appreciate all you guys for joining me. As always, definitely can't wait for the next installment and all that. But before we really end the show, first of all, I want to thank our sponsor, SeatGeek. Make sure to go to SeatGeek.com for all your, want to go to sporting events. We got, obviously, NBA, college basketball. We got the playoffs. You can go use promo code Off the Ball Network to get $20 off your first purchase. That's promo code Off the Ball Network, all caps. $20 off. SeatGeek, your number one place for all your ticket needs. SeatGeek.com, promo code Off the Ball Network. So Ken's back, and so Ken was crying for a little bit, and he's back. Ken,
really let this man do that? And do that.
I did it for purposes, because it's, let him just spew that, and it's, it's gonna, Ken, you know how it ends. So let him be happy. He's gonna, and just think about it. In a few weeks,
that he's put
by the end of the month, Mo is gonna be a very sad man because Ohio State's gonna lose by, double digits to UGA, and Dallas is gonna be one and done. And who else? Miami Heat. They're below the Knicks right now in the playoff standings. So
the Heat suck.
The Heat suck. They can't shoot. Jimmy Butler, ever since he decided to get dreadlocks.
I thought this was Overreaction Monday, not hate on Miami Monday. Like this isn't
Miami. I have to hate on the. Would you rather me hate on the other Miami team? I could do that. 5 and 7. That shut up. But so. But let him spew. Yeah, that's another great show. Ken, before we sign off, tell the people where they can find you if you got anything going
on. You can follow me at Head Forums. Go live Monday through Friday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time for all your betting needs. And it was a ton of fun, guys. Darren, man, and it was a pleasure for sure.
Yes. Darian, brother, first time on an Off the Ball Network show with the fellas. We appreciate you hopping on, and we're going to do a lot more with you as we continue So where can the people find you? And like I said, thanks again for hopping on, bro.
Well, I just want to throw out there on my Spotlight Raiders talk. I was able to 7,500 subscribers on the Spotlight Raiders talk
Congratulations.
YouTube
Well,
for the
that's
game
goals,
yesterday.
man.
So
That's
shout out
goals
to
over
everybody
here.
that was on Tuesday, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Me and my co-host, College Live, will be doing the Sports Zone podcast episode 4 tomorrow. On 4, we'll be talking and recapping Monday Night Football and other topics as well, especially talking about college football playoff and everything of that nature. Twitter, Sports Zone podcast, Instagram Sports Zone podcast. That's where y'all can find me at.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Congrats on the 7,500 too. That's big. That's goals over here. That's goals over here. Dad.
What's good, man? Appreciate you having me on once again. Another good episode. You can find me and Jelani on What the Game Means to Me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And we should have another episode coming out this week. And hopefully it can be a little positive because both of our teams lost and we both suck. And so we're looking forward to the draft at this point.
Poor Jelani. And the Atlanta Hawks are down too. They,
Oh, yeah, but I'm looking forward to the
Trey
Cowboys
Young.
because we're going to beat y'all. So that's all I have.
Hear that? You hear that?
Nah, they don't care. They know we suck, but I think we'll get up for the Cowboys. And I'm going to the game too, so I have a good record when I go to Jags games.
Oh, okay. Fighting words. Mo.
Yeah, you can follow me at Mo_Cheese15 on Twitter, at Up in Flames Pod on Instagram. Make sure you go subscribe to Up in Flames Podcast. Tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, be doing the 100th episode. Everybody, obviously, at the network is invited. Anybody just want to pop in, say some words. We'll talk a little bit. No real, direction, just more like reflection. We'll probably go over, my top 5 moments and
Okay. I like that.
We're definitely gonna do that. That's definitely
dope. That's dope.
5 moments and kind of just it'll more so go around depending on who shows up and kind of hey, what's the craziest thing I've ever said? That you think Ken already
Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. You already said it. The Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. So.
Ken will refer, to tonight's episode. But yeah, I was gonna do something like that and just kind of sit back and just kind of pat myself on the back for keep going and being able to hit episode 100. I know a few of y'all at the network have accomplished that feat already. So, kind of to put my name on that list of guys that have made it to, episode 100. So make sure you check that out. It'll be live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So yeah, make sure you check that out. And other than that, appreciate it. And let me get going, fellas. I got to eat.
There you go. Episode 100. Episode 100 from Mo Murphy, Up in Flames tomorrow. You can follow me at Off the Ball Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel right now. Give us a like and a subscription. We're almost at 300. I think we got 6 more subscribers to get to 300. We've been doing pushing lately a lot, so we're getting a lot of subs lately. So appreciate everyone for that. Facebook, Off the Ball Network. Go give us a like there. Twitter, follow us there. Go to offtheballnetwork.com. Go check out OTBN Bets. Go check out Twitter, OTBN_network, and all that great stuff. Check out all the great talent we have at the Off the Ball Network. But that's another wrap for Off the Ball Network Overreaction Monday. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Be well. Be safe.